Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian. Welcome back to HOI4 as we are playing as Russia. So before we get started in today's episode, I did want to let you guys know that there will not be an episode on Sunday. I had said in pinned comments on the previous video that we would have a video for each of the weekend days, but unfortunately I do have some stuff I have to do on Saturday regarding our homeschooling with our kids. I'm not working on Saturdays, so that's why I thought I'd have time to record a video, but I do need to do that homeschooling stuff, try and get us caught up, since we're just a little bit behind. So we'll only have this video for the weekend, and we're also doing that other series, the War Hospital, covering that on the PlayStation 5. HiJynx has joined us for that series, and it's a pretty interesting little strategy game. I'm liking it so far, so maybe check out that series if you haven't. But we should have 2 videos of that this weekend. We're going to record those a little bit later tonight. So we need to design these tanks. I'd ask you guys what you thought about those 2 different looks that I'd shown you at the end of the previous video. The one that had the lower reliability but the better overall stats, though it did lose a little bit of breakthrough. The attack was a lot higher, as was the piercing. The piercing was doubled. What the combat losses, we might lose a little bit more, but it might be worth it with the extra attack and then the extra piercing as well. You know, they're just going to perform a lot better in combat, and you know, you also got to keep in mind that we have the high armor, and that'll make it less likely to take casualties. I think the biggest issue is really the production costs, is that's going to increase it significantly, make it a lot more difficult for us to get those tanks out there. But you know what, guys, I think these stats are really worth it, particularly with a heart attack, because we don't actually have any anti-tanks in this design. So I think that this is going to be worth it, even with the extra production costs. So let's go and change this up, have the bigger guns out there. We might want to look at it again once we have those better medium cannons. Maybe it's no longer worth it, but with only having the level 1 medium cannons, I think the level 2s are in fact good enough to warrant giving up some of this reliability. And really what we need to do is get the better maintenance companies. We should invest in that. So yeah, let's go ahead and switch out these tanks, get the newer ones out there. And then the last thing we need to do is we have a general we need to hire here, and we want to do this now because, you know, it costs command power, so we want that to be going back up. I did change up the tanks as well. We'll take a look at that in a minute. I don't know where we're going to put this general just yet. We're just going to get him hired, because we do not need to promote him, so we don't have to use the political power for that, because he's already sitting at the 435 experience. You only need the 400, and so this will result in him getting the infantry officer. So let's go ahead and promote him for the 75 command power, and then we'll see. Well, first of all, you show all the field citations here, which is nice, but then he has that infantry officer as well, so infantry leader experience factor is plus 100%. He's also an inflexible strategist, increasing defense and logistics, and he's level 2 with a 27% on the experience there. And so he's not looking too bad for a beginning general here. 2 attack, 3 defense. Not great when it comes to the planning, but I care about that the least out of all these. And then he has very good logistics for a level 2 general. That's not bad at all. So we'll need to put him in charge of one of our armies. We're not going to do that right now because we have mere moments before we're going to be having this peace treaty here, and then we're going to want to change up where all of our troops are. I guess I did want to show you guys the tanks real quick when I adjusted. So you guys may recall the tanks were over here, and they're going to push across to Riga. However, there's actually some supply issues here because the supply hub is so far, and we had so many tanks in just one province. That's always going to be an issue. But the supply hubs aren't really up on the front here. And so yeah, we were having some supply issues. But more than anything, I want to take advantage of the fact that Austria-Hungary does not have any troops upon our border. And so I think it would be best to put the tanks over here and then do like a pincer invasion where we take Budapest, the current capital, and go after Vienna as well, which is worth a lot of points. And then cut off any troops that do move over to this area, which you do see one Austria-Hungarian division here. Although that is Germany's flag, so... But it says Austria-Hungary, so maybe the Germans gave it to them? Perhaps. Yeah, gave it to them as like a volunteer, or not volunteer, but you know, the expeditionary force. I don't know why Germany would do that though, because I mean, they got their own fronts that they're fighting on. But yeah, maybe that's what happened. All right, so let's go and get this war finish up, because remember, it's 99% towards capitulation at this point, so you don't really have to take much, and then they're going to give up here. Now we do want to get as much war score as possible though. Go and attack here as well. Oh, yes, one thing I did forget. You may have noticed I got rid of that one cav army that we had on the border with Turkey. We're going to be getting rid of all of the cav units. I've been wanting to do this anyways because they're just not very good. I talked about doing it, but we haven't done it yet. So we're going to switch them all over to Imperial Guard. It's going to require a lot more manpower and equipment for them. And they're going to lose a lot of their experience. And so we'll let them train up in this army here. And we'll eventually want to get rid of all of our cav units and turn them over to infantry. I think that would be very beneficial for us. Let's go and take that location. We're already going here. And then we're going to be wiping them out. Cav division's got his orders. Let's give this guy some orders as well. We'll push forward here if we can. We got a unit that's going over there. I don't know if he'll get there in time, but let's go and attack over this way. Just lock that division down. And we're already going over here. And it doesn't matter anyway because we just won and they gave us 50% of their equipment. And we did not have to defeat Norway since they were just a subject. So remember, we're going to try and get as much of this as possible, if not all of it. That's what we would prefer. But we also have Iran as well. And I'm just hoping that Japan focuses on the Dutch East Indies. Now, as far as the Netherlands, it'd be nice to get it. That'd give us another front with Germany. We'd have to defend that front, of course. But this is kind of an easier place to defend if you build some forts because of the rivers. Of course, right here is an exposed position. What you could do is just build the forts right here to Amsterdam and right here. And then it's going to be difficult for them to get across, or even right here, because then they got to... You can build coastal forts and got to cross that. So yeah, I think getting the Netherlands would be nice, but it's not going to be our priority, guys. We got to get the rest of this stuff here, and I feel like the one we should focus on first is Iran. Try and get the coastline. Make sure we get all that. Doesn't stop the Japanese from creating a subject, I suppose, but yeah, we're going to try and make sure we have access to all this here, this good stuff. I just don't want Japan getting anything, if preferable. How many points do we have? We have 684. So I'm going to try and get as much of this up on the coast here. If anything, I'd rather have them have Norway than anything else. Let's go and finish in Iran, because I assume that they're going to want Iran. Yeah, that's all our points right there, guys. Okay, so I doubt we're going to find anything that costs 5 points. It doesn't look like it. Okay. So that's where we'll... I mean, you could always look over here. See if there's anything really cheap, but we don't occupy this, so you assume it'd be really expensive. Let's just hope that Japan focuses on that. They have, you know, a little more than half the points that we do. Denmark has points too. I assume they might try and compete with us over like Norwegian or Swedish territory. So let's go and submit our demands. And they are competing. Of course, they're going to go after that. So let's go ahead and demand that. I knew that they were going to come up over here. Let me see, did they go after the Dutch East Indies already? They didn't. Not all of it, anyway. I knew they were going to do that. They're going to come over here, start making demands on this territory before they'd even finished up on the territory that they really, truly want. That's what they want. Now, let's go and finish in Iran, just so we're done here. And then let's go ahead and make sure... Oh, we got that selected. Let's make sure we get as much of this territory as possible. We might be able to demand it all right now. I do not want them up here, by the way. That would be crappy. And I think we might have enough points to get most of Norway this turn. That's what it looks like. Can't get it all. It's just that one. So I imagine that's the one they're going to go after. There's still the Netherlands, though, and they haven't finished in the Dutch East Indies. I don't know why they're fighting us over this territory. I guess they did fight hard for that. They just didn't have any success. We haven't taken... We did take that one. Okay. So I think that's it. I don't have any points anyways. So let's go and submit our demands. And of course they're going to try and compete up with us for those ones. Let's make sure we demand those. And then we're going to also go for that one. And I suppose we can now compete with them for the Netherlands because we still have a lot of points. Now another option would be to go after the Dutch East Indies for the rubber here. It's very expensive, but we could afford it. Yeah, I mean, like, this is a lot of rubber in this Sumatra. Unless you're getting oil and aluminum. I say let's do it. I think it's worth it going for that, over going for this territory. I'll try and get it. We don't even have enough points for that one. I can try. No, let's put you in the negative. Could do this one here, but this one's going to be really difficult to defend. Let's see what we got for the next turn. I don't really want to go for that. I suppose another option would be to try and take something else over here, but you're gonna have to fight with them over it. But I guess you could make them pay more points for something. You know what, there's also some territory over here that we can grab that has 100 aluminum, so that's useful. Extends our reach, and yeah, just more aluminum's nice. And we could still try and go after this one, just to make them pay for it. Pay more points. Let's do that. I don't know that we'll actually try and compete for that one. Let's submit our demands. So that one state, they are trying to compete with us on it. So we can make that demand and still have enough points to go after the Netherlands here. So let's go ahead and do that. Go after this one, very expensive, but we can still get both of these and have a remainder of 122 points. So this is actually going very much in our favor, and I think a big part of that is because they wasted points going for this stuff over here that we occupied, and they didn't really have any claim to, so frankly, they were just wasting points that they could have used to get something else. So we could go ahead and go for this one here, if we really just wanted to cause them issues. There's not really anything there. So there's no reason to go for that, other than to make them pay more points. But I think that's the only one we can afford. Could get this one too. I guess I prefer to have the territory here in Papua. Okay, so that's what we'll do. There is actually rubber here, but I think it's kind of a weird situation if you have this, but not this one, which this one's really expensive at this point, so I don't think we're going to be able to get it. But yeah, why not? We'll go for that. Since we have the points, it's only 40. So we'll contest it. And we'll see what happens here. So it looks like we can demand all of those. And we still have 716 points, so let's say you wanted to go for something else. Maybe you could, like the 50 rubber that's located there. They're still competing with us for this here. I wonder, how much does this cost? That's 960. I wonder if we like stopped competing for that one and this one, if you could get this one instead. Because that gives you a lot more rubber. And then they could have that. We could have this here, like this little strip. So that's 201. We have 716. There's also the ships. I don't know how many ships the Dutch still have. They didn't have a huge fleet to begin with. But yeah, if you took this one off and that one, it gives you 249 points. So it seems that would give us just enough. Barely, but just enough. So let me take that off, because I would, again, rather have this one. So let's go for that. And then we'll see if we can get it. Now this does mean we're going to have to defend all this territory against the Japanese, which is one more reason not to go for these ones here. It'd be better to have it all in one strip. And then you got to send some divisions over there to defend your ports. But yeah, let's do that. Let's see if we can get that. So, seems that that would be too much. Yeah, that'd be too much for us. Okay, so yeah, we will not be able to get all of this. You'd have to... We probably got to give up on that. It's just too expensive, because they're still competing with us on this one here, and I'm not giving that one up. If I had to choose one, it would be this one. So I guess you give up that one, and then just go for other stuff instead. Yeah, I don't really want to go for this. It'd have to be that one. I suppose you can go for all of this here. And then I'll just have this little strip. Our rubber demands will be taken care of. I don't know if we can actually get all this. Looks like we cannot. Alright, so you do have to give out... I mean, we'll go like this and then figure out what we want to take off. Yeah, you can't get it all. It's just too much. So let's give up... I don't know if we're going to be able to get that one. Because it's worth a lot more than this one. Probably because we haven't claimed it at all. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what the issue is there. So you can give out that one. If you just took these two off, that would not be enough. So it'd have to be this one. You got a bit more points. But there's nothing you can really demand with that. Everything's too expensive at this point. So yeah, let's just go ahead and submit these demands in. And then we'll see if we can't get... Yeah, we're not going to be able to get that all. Just short. So probably going to have to give up on... Hey, give up on that one. That's interesting. Probably have to give up on this one here. And looks like we're not going to have enough points for that one either. Well, that's interesting. I kind of wish I hadn't gotten Pablo then. Alright, so yeah, we're going to have to give up on that one. And there's probably not anything that we can get now. I think everything's going to be too expensive. Well, maybe you can get this one. Yeah, we can try for that. Yeah, it looks like we can demand that one. Alright, so we got that. That's it. This is what we're going to get. Alright, so we gained some territory in the Dutch East Indies. Again, only because they competed with us over here. I don't think we would have had enough points if they hadn't. We also got the territory over here, giving us all that aluminum. So that was nice. I did forget about the oil province over here. Well, they haven't gained it either. It looks like nobody got it. Nobody had the points. Yeah, and we can't give up on that one now. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. It's not that big of a deal, but it would have been nice to ensure that oil wasn't available to anybody else. All right, so yeah, it's not an option. Can't get it. There are still the ships, but oh yeah, I forgot that Norway had a little bit of a fleet. But yeah, we don't have any points, guys, so I don't think there's much we can do. We can do all the screening ships here for one of these two. I guess there's that. Might as well spend all your points. So we'll submit our demands there, and that's all we got. All right, so let's go ahead and confirm an exit. Alright, so a ton of stuff we need to do. First of all, we don't need to trade for rubber anymore, so let's go ahead and stop trading with the with British Malaya, because yeah, we have plenty of rubber now, just in this area. Means the Japanese are going to have to take off from all of our areas that they worked so hard to conquer. You see I am building up dockyards, guys. I feel like we have a good enough situation, and with the carriers almost done, that we're going to start really pumping into the fleet. Particularly with the fact that I imagine Japan's not going to be happy about our actions here. We eventually want to build that up. This has already been built fully, so that gives you the full bonuses there. And you could build these up for oil, but oil's really not an issue for us, guys. Could build up some of these areas for, I don't want to do that. We want those up towards the top there. Build up these areas, make sure we don't have any supply problems there. Just get them up to level 3. I'm not seeing any other low-leveled infrastructure regions. This one can be built up to level 3, so let's go and take that up to the top. Really focus on improving the infrastructure situation. Alright, so we're good there. We still have not built radar yet either. Something that's needed and necessary, but we got so much other stuff that we're doing at the moment. And we did get a few dockyards that we can go ahead and put into what we have for right now. Because I'm waiting to put any more lines out there until we get the radar and the 1940 carriers, which we're going to have very soon. So this doesn't really matter because we're going to be taking the dockyards from those in just 4 days. Let's take a look at the ships that we got. 2 destroyers. Okay, so this one is a mining ship, so we can go ahead and put them into our mining fleet, I suppose. Now, I do not have ships in the Black Sea or that are going to go in the Mediterranean because I don't think it's necessary. Like, who would we be fighting there? The Central Powers don't have any ports in the Mediterranean, so I just don't think it's important. But yeah, we got this level 1 destroyer as well, so we'll just throw this over into this fleet for right now. But didn't get much. Nothing exciting there, guys. Just the 2 destroyers. I'm hoping that we could have got like a light cruiser or something out of it, but we did not. Alright, so now we need to get the troops out of here. We have 2 armies here in Scandinavia that need to move elsewhere. And you know what I think we might do? Because we're going to be getting rid of this field marshal here. I like their color, though. Yeah, I like the color that they have here. So I think what we're going to do is actually keep this army. Okay, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to just throw these guys into here. And then get rid of their front. And give them a new one here. Selecting all the troops that are here. And putting them onto that front. So just kind of put them into this army. Just gotta like the color. That's it. This is the only reason. No other reason. Throw these guys into here. Do the same thing. And then Have them go right here. And set them up for this invasion. Because remember, we have all these cav units in here that we're going to be getting rid of all of them. And so we're going to switch them over to the Imperial Guard. And then throw them into the training army. So let them train up there. That does still leave us with 2 divisions, it seems. 2 extra ones. Okay. And we can let these guys train. And some of these don't have an assignment yet, so we're going to need to put them over here. I don't know if we're going to put a full... I mean, it makes sense probably, so we really focus on getting this done, particularly with all the troops they have here and high-level fortifications. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's going to make it very difficult to get through here, actually. You're going to have to go this way. We're not going to get through that, guys. Basically, you're just going to have enough divisions to defend this, I think. So you have, I think just the 1 province here you have to defend. And then the 3 over here. So if you wanted... Yeah, if you wanted 2 for each, then 8 is in fact enough. And so that's all we'll have. We'll just have the 8 divisions there. And then the rest of them would go over here. And so let me just take a look. We got to take 2 of these guys out. So let's do so. We'll just take 2 from the top. Or we should take 2 that don't have an assignment, I guess. So we'll take these 2. And then get them assigned to another front where we don't have a full army. So the blue army is not full. So I guess we can do them over here somewhere. So you got 2 in each of these. I see. So let's go ahead and put them over here. Kind of strengthen them up on that side. And then we have a few divisions still need to get assigned. So what I think we're actually going to do is take 2 more out. We want these guys to be trained. Put them over here. And then reduce this army's front by 1. Let them cover this, although it looks like... Oh, okay, that's fine. So, yeah, we'll have them cover this part of the front here. And then, with the remaining divisions, they'll all go onto this front here. And so we should be good. We got 14 there, 8 there for the total of 22 divisions in this army. We will be changing out their commander since they have that field marshal, so we're going to go and unassign him because he's going to be leading a different army. Although I would like to level him up by 1 more point. Let me just take a look. How far away is he from leveling up? He's at 46%. Okay, so that would take a little while. Now he's more of a defensive commander, but he has that mountaineer and the winter expert. I think we're gonna put him into this position. This is our worst field marshal. So put him there. And then we might want to kind of just rearrange where you have all these troops, though. They have the good attacks. That's something to consider. But anybody who's going to be attacking in mountains. So like down here, for instance. So they're over here. And they can stay underneath this field marshal. That's fine. This one you'd want in this army, though. These guys can stay in this army as well. You move them here. Move them over here. So you got 3 and 3 essentially. Okay, so that looks pretty solid. Basically have those guys over there and then these 2 on the lower part of the front that are under this field marshal. And this field marshal has these armies. Now we do need to do something with these guys. Let's switch them over to Imperial Guard. Let them train up. And I think we should set up a naval invasion, just keeping the same commander there so he can eventually get the invader trait. He's 38% towards getting that now. But we might want to move out the mountain unit to somewhere where they're actually fighting on mountains. Alright, so we got this area here. You're going to see a lot of mountain fighting here, though, so I think they should go there. We have 4 there currently. Let's see where all our other mountain troops are. I got to do a little bit of rearranging here, guys. They are fighting in mountains, so it makes sense for them to be over here. But, you know what, let's move one of them out. And he'll go into this army. Alright, and then you'd want to set up a naval invasion somewhere here in Germany. Probably to link up with the tank troops that are coming across here that's going to go after Danzig. So probably want to do the invasion of Danzig. Now, I don't know if we will succeed at this invasion, because of the fact that I imagine the Germans are gonna better defend their territory than we saw with the Swedes. But yeah, we'll try and make it happen. We just want to go off of the port that has the closest location, and we go after Danzig there. And do we have all the troops assigned? We do. All right, excellent. All right, so those 10 will go over there. That's all we can send is 10. We have not gotten the upgrade yet for those. So we can't do much when it comes to naval invasions. I think we're good to go. I believe we moved all the troops out of here. The planes got to be moved. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. And we'll get them starting to move over to the front here. These are close air sports, so we'll move them over here. Take them off their current orders, put them on the pilot exercise. Though we do want them training here. Not that it really matters, but they'll move these guys as well. They're gonna go over to here and take them off their current orders, train up if they need to. And then we still have the ones down here as well. So we'll get these guys out of there too. And how will we have them focus on this area is what I'm thinking. You put 1,000 here. And have them train if needed. Alright, excellent. So we got the planes all moving, and then the ships. We don't need them out there any longer. So let's go ahead and tell them to all go back home. I mean, they're kind of irrelevant because I can't do the mine laying right now. So just take them off all of their current orders. Although they can stay on naval invasion. So that they'll go help those Marines. And just gotta make sure that they're heading over there as well. There we go. And then we'll take them off the strike force. Yeah, this is a period of peace for us now. And so do we want to set these guys up to train? I think we should while we're at peace, like if they need it. Alright, so there we go. We got everybody set up to train if they need to, with the exception of submarines. We'll just keep those training because I'm not really worried about them getting damaged and needing to repair. And so now we're just putting the finishing touches on for our invasion with the Central Powers. It'll be happening soon. Japan canceled non-aggression pact, so might see a conflict break out there. We're going to need to send troops over there. That's going to be necessary. Luckily, we do have a lot of troops, but we might want to start having those guys go to their locations. Yeah, I think we should. And maybe get rid of... How much equipment do we have? Let me just double check, make sure. And we're using a lot of infantry equipment now with all these adjustments I'm making. So let's go and put more factories into the infantry equipment. Though, we're going to have to pull from something. I don't really want to pull from the tanks. I know we're going to get 5 from the railway guns. So there is that, and then that can go into infantry equipment, I suppose. Let me see where we're at on the support equipment. Doing pretty good. Yeah, we can pull from those, but we haven't even added those into the infantry, so I assume that's going to deplete quickly. We could try and add those now into the Imperial Guard. We actually still have a lot of work to finish these guys up. Yeah, quite a bit. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do the artillery here. And then... it's going to be anti-air. Let me see. Yeah, anti-air and anti-tank. So you know what? Let me actually move that. And get 1 anti-air, 1 anti-tank. And then we'll have to finish this when we have the experience, because we don't right now. And so that's where it requires us to train pretty much all of our troops. Okay, so yeah, a lot of stuff that we're going to have to do there. Let's go ahead and actually get a few infantry heading over here. And you know what? Let's also, because we know that these guys are garbage. So let's go and change up the cav units as well. Hopefully it doesn't affect supply too much. Maybe I should wait. Yeah, perhaps we should wait, guys, because I'm building up the infrastructure in this area, but we haven't completed that. We still got a lot of work to go in that regard. So let's go ahead and instead keep those as cav units, and then we're going to set up a new army of infantry. to cover these other fronts just in case they declare war on us. How many do we need? Let me just take a look. Probably a lot. That's gonna be like a whole army. Yep, just for, you need like a whole army just for the new Mongol Empire. But then you got these fronts here. Like if you don't want them to get conquered. Now I think that Tibet should hopefully be able to defend their own territory. Maybe not. It's hard to say. You know they can't because they don't have anything here. But at the very least you want troops here. This is a lot of troops you're gonna need, guys. A whole bunch of troops. Wow. Alright, so we should probably take the ones that are like the least trained in the hope that they'll have time. So just get, I mean, how many do we have total here? 29. So if you wanted a full army to come over here, it takes the majority of the troops there. Alright, well it is what it is, guys. So let's go ahead and make these. We don't have a yellow army anymore because I got rid of that one that we had on the frontier, so sure. I mean, this is a brown army. We don't have a brown army either. Yeah, I guess we'll do brown army for now, and then we'll do yellow will be our next army that we do. So we need to split these up. So probably a few over here, a few over here. Like, I don't know how you get this looking good. You're not gonna be able to cover it all, frankly. So maybe we'll do 8. Do 8 over here. And then the other divisions will be here. And then we'll take a look at how it appears once they're all over there. So that's one full-size army there. So you can put those guys over here for now, I suppose. You really need the one that has the best supply consumption for these guys, though. Now that I'm thinking about it. He's level 4. You could just do, let me just see if we have another like really good supply consumption field marshal. We do not. Clearly he's the best one. Alright, so if you're just worried about supply, then you'd want to put these two armies under him. We may change that up in the future. We could just switch this guy over here as well. Just kind of give him a little bit more units under his command. Alright, so that looks pretty good. But we might find ourselves at war against Japan much quicker than we had wanted to. I was hoping to remain at peace for them, with them for a time, but I think it's because we're not sharing a conflict with them. They are at war still. They're at war with the United States. But with us not sharing a conflict, they don't really have any reason to have that non-aggression pact with us. Alright, so we did get the 1940 carrier hull. So we're done with these until 1944. And so I suppose the next thing we should do is we can go and grab the sonar. I really feel like we should get the destroyer hulls and the cruiser hulls next. Let's do the cruiser hulls. So for these cruisers, I think the battle line shipbuilders would give you the best bonuses once you start producing these. As far as research time, it doesn't really matter. It's 97 days for both of these two. 100 there, 99 there. It's not a big difference which one you use. But as far as like which one we're going to produce with, I kind of think the battle line shipbuilders would be best for the cruisers. Because you're going to get the armor. It's not a big deal for light cruisers, but it's helpful. Incoming torpedo critical chance, anti-air, light attack, all of those being boosted. Plus you get a production output bonus. When you look at the screen bonus here, which would apply to light cruisers, it's range, torpedo attack, and surface visibility. Not as impressive. Screens here, we don't really like that one for the screens. And here, yeah, you're not really getting much of anything for the cruisers. So I think this is the best choice once we start producing them. And I just want to keep on giving them more funding because we want to improve the battle line shipbuilders. So yeah, let's go ahead and use this one. Give them a bit more funding there. So we got this trait because we finished up those carriers and their research. And so now we can apply this trait to the carriers. However, I don't think we want this next one in this line here. It increases the design team assigned cost. The requirement for size up goes down though. So you can level it up faster, but I just don't know that it's going to be worth that, guys. Especially because we're only using it for the carriers. Instead, I think we better get the anti-air. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll get that one. And then that will apply to the carriers that we're about to build right now. So we're going to be getting our first carriers. And let me just take a look. So there's the radar still. So, you know, I think it would be worth waiting so that we can get the radar in there. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna wait for. Because, you know, carriers, they take a long time to build. So we want to have them be as up to date as possible. And that's the only thing that we really need here that we're already researching. So yeah, we'll wait 3 weeks. It's not a big deal. All right, and then the other thing we'll be doing with our dockyard is building another battleship with all those upgrades. So it'll be a Peter 3B. This one will be done in July 1942. So if the Japanese did declare war on us, then we'd be able to have a new battleship to make use of. All right, so I don't think there's anything else we need to do then, since we're not designing those carriers. Just get all our troops in place and then train everybody up, because they're all going to need to train with those adjustments that I made. And we want those guys to train. Those are the ones we pulled. These guys are going to train. Anybody that needs to. Burma just embargoed us. Okay. Why? Oh, somebody asked to check the faction map. Yeah, they're not in a faction or anything. So yeah, we're going to take a look at the faction map. This is how it looks currently. So now we have the Russian Empire, and then you got the Central Powers. This is kind of hard to see, but this is the Covenant of the Mediterranean. I think it's just Turkey and Italy. Yeah. So you got the Central Powers, and then the Allies, which really just Britain here, since Italy left. The territory that they hold. Okay, so Italy controls Portugal. They also control much of North Africa. They took all that over from France. They still have Ethiopia. Okay, and the American Union under Portugal. Okay, they have control of this. Central Powers have control of that territory. So yeah, I wouldn't even pay attention to what was happening over here in Africa. Well, that's the situation there. Just a little bit more visible when you have the faction map mode on. British still hold this territory here with the Canadians. Then you have the Hispanic Alliance as well, which they've almost been defeated. They're not doing so well. Now we have this territory here, so if we didn't end up at war with the Americans, we'd have to fight them here. I'm hoping to avoid a conflict with the Americans. And then you have the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere, the Japanese faction, and that's what they currently have. So we would have to send troops over here to defend this. I think we have to defend this first. We need more units, basically, guys. We do not have enough. And you can see here that we're now running low on just about everything outside of infantry equipment. The British have also canceled that non-aggression pact with us. Everybody will, because we're not helping out in the conflict anymore. Should be able to start it back up with the British, though. Alright, so we got that construction 4. I think the next thing we should do is probably concentrate industry 4. We also have a trait for our fast tank design company. Alright, so our choices are reliability, but increased production costs. Not as big of a deal for the light tanks. A production resource penalty reduction, so if you don't have enough resources, then it's not as big of a deal. Or increased armor. I really feel like this might be a little bit more helpful. And that also gets you access to the stuff down here. Salt attack would be nice too. Yeah, we're going to get this. Let's increase the reliability. That will cost 5 experience though. So let's go ahead and update the tank line. And we have a decision available to expand some steel mills. And we are not going to take those at the moment. We already have something we're saving up our political power for. We want to get a new political advisor. Remember, we got those new ones from those focuses. So we do need to... Yeah, everybody's going to cancel non-aggression pacts. We do need to set up all these troops to train, because they're all going to need to, with those adjustments to the division designs that we just made. And so that's really what's going to stall us from declaring war now, is that we don't have... Oh, we got some dockyards. Oh, we finished the destroyers. Okay. But yeah, we don't have our troops all trained up, so now we're going to have to work on that. So those destroyers, I wanted to update them. However, it's only 9 days left. Yeah, it's fine. Let's just wait the 9 days. I know the dockyards aren't doing anything. They'll be alright. We'll just design all these. Okay, so now the Italians are making demands of us. Everybody's canceling these. So Victor Emmanuel III of the Kingdom of Italy has today sent us an ultimatum demanding us to grant the Kingdom of Italy occupation of the region of Dalmatia. If we do not comply with his demands, we will likely have a military conflict on our hands. So we can say that they can have it, or who do they think they are? So what they're specifically demanding is this territory right here. And so what we're losing is 3 civilian factories and a dockyard. I don't really want conflict with Italy and Turkey. I don't want a whole new fronts. I almost think that they can have it because I don't really care about this territory that much. If they continue to make demands on us, they might just have to fight them over it. But it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't have much in here. Yeah, I just don't know that it's worth fighting Italy and Turkey over. You know, we're going to accept it. We'll see if they make any more demands, because obviously then it's going to become a problem. But yeah, they now have that territory. Doesn't change our front here at all. But it does change up the situation with the railroads. I didn't think about that. Wouldn't really have changed my position, but you can just fix that by building the rails across here. It's still kind of a pain. We got to do that now. And how much longer? One more day. And we'll get that. We do have another trait, this one for the raiding fleet, which remember we're just using this for the submarines. So it's only worth getting stuff that's going to boost the submarines. And we already have everything, I think. So at this point, it doesn't really matter what you get. Maybe you get something that improves the cruisers enough that you want to use it. I don't know. Probably not, though. So we'll just get this. Doesn't really matter. Alright, so one more day. We've got the radar. We're going to get those applied to everything. That means tanks, ships, all that good stuff. And we should probably go in and get the next radar as well. Though it is 1942, so maybe we should get the research bonus first. Yeah, we'll do that first. And let's go ahead and get those applied. So we got a lot of ship designing we have to do. Not really getting very far in today's episode because we have so much that we're taking care of with the peace treaty and dealing with the after effects of the peace treaty and designing tanks and ships and all that kind of good stuff. We got a lot of stuff to add to these guys. And it's crazy just how many different destroyers we've had. So we're good here on this model, I mean. So we can add, so what you want to do is add the radar here and then the sonar here. Still have the crappy torpedoes. Let's go ahead and get the better depth charges though. So that'll increase our depth charge attack. Our max speed's gonna go down. Surface detection is going up. That's gonna cost us 18 naval experience. Hopefully we got enough to do all the things I want to do here. Let's go and save this. And then get the destroyers building again using... Were we using the raiding fleet? Yeah, because we didn't want to reduce the max range there. So I suppose stuff for screens does matter. I forgot we were using the raiding fleet for this one. So might have wanted to get something else. That doesn't apply to those destroyers, but this would. Reduced surface visibility. And production output would apply to both the destroyers and the submarines. But another option, again, this one doesn't apply, so still wasn't the best, way to go. But you could get increased surface detection. So that'd be nice. But most of these are for the capital ships. The higher range for the screens would be nice. So yeah, we could keep going down these. I mean, you have no choice if you got traits. What else are you going to do with them? All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the production. We've gotten the destroyers out. We still need to assign them dockyards. I don't think we have any adjustments to make to the submarines still. Yeah, it's all basic stuff here. So now we can go ahead and design the carriers. So these will be our first carriers. We need to get carrier planes as well. So we're going to name them the Ivan 3A. And I really like that this fits with Ivan III, who's Ivan the Great. Not the more famous of the Ivans, which is Ivan IV, Ivan the Terrible, but he's the first Tsar of Russia. And so yeah, I think that just fits really nicely that this is the third of the carrier ships in 1940. So yeah, I like that. We'll name them after Ivan the Great. So we are going to be going with the hangar space. Get as many planes on this as we can. And got those carrier engines in there. That's the best radar that we got. We got the dual purpose guns in there as well. And then we'll get the cruiser armor on there too. And this is going to be more hangar space. All the way across to get the deck size up to 100. Of course, you could always add, secondary batteries in there and make them a little bit more useful in a fight. Or you could add the deck armor, try and keep them alive a little bit. I prefer to use other ships for that. Basically screen them properly with screens and other capital ships. And those ships can also provide the anti-air. And so yeah, I like to have the higher deck space. And the planes are so useful out there that they really, as many as you can get. I think they're very, very much worth it. So we were just barely able to get these designed, have enough experience for them. But unfortunately, you cannot assign an MIO. Well, that's interesting. I was thinking we'd be able to use that the Black Sea Fleet, but we can't. Okay. So really, there's no reason to invest any further in the Black Sea Fleet then. I wasn't aware that you couldn't use those for carriers. I thought you'd be able to since they have bonuses for capital ships, which a carrier is a capital ship, so I don't know. I'm not entirely sure why you can't use them. But you cannot, so we will not have an MIO, and that's a real shame because this is going to take longer to build. I was hoping we'd have that bonus for them. And then we're going to want to pull back on all these dockyards, make sure we're investing fully in this one. And then when they're done, they'll deploy in St. Petersburg. All right, so we want to set this up as well. Saying, that's weird. It only has an airplane capacity of 10. Let me just take a look what's going on there. It should have it. Yeah, it's got a deck size of 100. That's really weird. It says deck size 100 here, but when you hover over it, it does in fact say deck size 10. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Yeah, very strange. Only thing I can think of is because we don't have any carrier planes or something. But I don't know why that would affect what it's saying for deck size. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, guys. I'm just going to build it. Let me know if you happen to know. Yeah, maybe it's not a problem, but maybe it is. I don't know why I would say that. Alright, so we'll get that building. And then also, let me just set these up to be able to use more dockyards for repairs. So that looks pretty solid there. How many do we have total in the dockyards? We have 27. Okay, so yeah, we'll let 20 be used for any necessary repairs. And we could build another one of these. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Let me just hope that the deck size isn't broken. I don't see how it could be. I don't know what the issue could be there, guys. So let's go ahead and put more dockyards into that. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And we're building more, guys. I got a bunch of dockyards currently building. If we look at this, we have a total of 8 in this location because it's 80%. And then 2 here, so that's 10 more that are being constructed. And so that'll fill in that spot and fill in all this. But basically, we still will need more dockyards. So I will go ahead and start construction of some additional dockyards. I don't think we have any other 80% locations. So it's going to be 60%. We might have some over here. We do not. Okay, so the only space we got, because we don't want to build a non-core territory, is up here on the 60%. So we'll do, probably need several more. So actually, I want these to be prioritized, but this is what we could do. We can go ahead and tick these up the top, and then I'll just move them down a little bit. This one looks something like that. Alright, so now we just got to train the troops up. And then we'll be ready for the conflict, I suppose. I feel like we got enough troops. basically enough troops. You can always use more, of course, but Peru has assumed leadership of the Hispanic Alliance. And then, yeah, as we get these troops trained up, we'll be putting them out to the front. You see we do have the heavy tanks out there. Now, just got to get them trained. Unfortunately, we had our agent captured, so now we got to rescue him. That's the worst time, right when we're getting ready to do this. Yeah, that's a real bummer. That was the one we had in Germany, too. Okay, so, yeah, that's unfortunate. We're going to have to go rescue him. So let's send the only guy we got and commence that one ready. Yeah, it's a real bummer. So, yeah, things not going quite well here now, because we got to worry about the war, a potential war against Japan. Weird situation with the carriers and their deck size. Still need to design those planes as well. We have a bit of air experience, but it's going to take a long time to get these built. You can see this one's the 31st of January, 1944, so I'm really not worried about it, guys. We'll get the planes later. It's not the priority. We got other things that we need. We know we have all kinds of equipment problems here. Yeah, we're short on the anti-tank and anti-air. Yeah, very short on that now. Artillery's still good. Infantry equipment's all right. Yeah, everything else is looking fine. But that's what we need. Okay, so let's go ahead and put more factories into both of these here then. Okay, so that looks good. But yeah, we're gonna certainly be starting a war, not an optimum situation, but again, they just don't have any troops over here, so I'm not too worried about it. I just want to get them all trained up. Once everybody's trained, I think we're gonna go and start it up. Not these guys, of course. We don't have to wait for them. And so you know what? I think everybody is trained. Yeah, everybody's looking pretty good now. Still might be snow on the ground, not want anything blocking us, so I suppose you can wait till May. Then we'll get the planes assigned. I suppose I can do all that off camera as well, since this is basically the end of the episode. We did get the new infantry equipment. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and go after... I almost think we should do this one to get the increased heart attack and piercing. 64 days to get that research. And so we'll need to add the new infantry equipment in there. That's going to ruin their efficiency, but be worth it for the extra modifiers there. We did fully decrypt Germany. All right, excellent. So now we can work on, I don't know if we should work on Austria-Hungary. I think we should do Japan next. Because I think by the time we get it done, and 591 days, although that counts this one, I think. Let me just double check. I'm just kind of curious. 296 days. By the time you get it done, I think they'll already be defeated. So I don't think it's worth doing. And we can now get that political advisor as well. So we actually have two guys that I want here. So remember we hired Militias for the weekly manpower, you know, the required garrisons. That's all helpful, but I feel like there are some better characters here. So the first one we're going to want to hire is the Patriarch Sergei, Patriarch of Moscow and all Russia. And so this gives you the division recovery rate plus 10%. So that's really nice to have, helps your troops. You don't often get modifiers that help your troops from the political advisors, but it seems like we do, because we have two guys who will be giving us bonuses to our troops. We also get the increased stability, so that's nice to have. Once you go to war, that does go down. And then the compliance growth speed in our states occupied by the enemy, it's not as helpful unless we lose territory, which hopefully we don't. You do have this character here increasing political power, but the rest of the modifiers aren't that great. Probably not worth getting. Instead, we'd probably want to get the driver of the faithful. So this is Alexei. He's going to increase factory output and decrease the amount of factories we need for the consumer goods. So pretty good, and I think better than this character. So we'll want to switch him out. But first, let's get this one, because I think he's the most useful of the three. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get him. And so yeah, we're just going to wait till, I guess, May 1st, somewhere around there. Maybe right before May 1st. So that I can get like the planes assigned, get the ships back out there, all that good stuff. And we actually have destroyers that need to be trained. And yeah, we'll just leave that guy there. We can put these 2 subs over here, let them train them. Just continue increasing that naval experience and make further adjustments to our ships. We have not really been getting the naval doctrines because we've just been making, there's so many things we have to do with our ship designs. And we also got our focus completed finally. Shows you how much time we've actually made in this episode, because this is the first focus that we got done. And this increases the division organization, or really removes some of the penalty that we have. So it should only be a 5% penalty now. I'll take a look at it. And then we also get increased division recovery rate and increased reinforce rate. So very nice bonuses there. And that leads you to the military reorganization. Now this does result in a significant penalty while you're reorganizing. But once you complete it, then you get some nice bonuses. I don't know if it's worth it though. I mean, eventually you need to get it. Those are some really nasty penalties that you don't want to have during wartime. The army experience gain, obviously you don't want that, but the real ones are the division organization and army organization regain. Yeah, that's definitely not something you want right when you're about to start a big conflict. I mean, it does give you some nice stuff. Gives you access to additional focuses. I don't think it's worth doing right now, guys. I don't think we really need to get any of these right now. These are just like land forts. We do get some bonuses here that seem pretty nice. Yeah, those are some good bonuses there. Yeah, these are mostly fortifications. So I don't think we need those right now. Really in the army focuses, the only ones I really want to get are these ones here. This will get us a ton of military factories. Looks like it'd get us five military factories plus the land equipment experience cost reduction. That's nice. This gives you some nice modifiers as well. Also military factory and some research bonuses, so that's good. And it gives you access to the merged tank and material plants. And so that's something you can see in the design companies. I'll show you guys that in a minute. So that's really good to have. So there is stuff here worth getting, but I don't think these are right now. Not when we have all these other options. We got stuff down here. We haven't gotten construction speed bonuses. Got some other nice focuses to get. But I think what we really need to do, guys, I talked about doing this, we haven't done it yet, is to get the plane, I should say the Air Force focuses, the ones that would improve those penalties that we're currently suffering from. So we're going to start with that. This is a 35-day focus. It gives you 50 air experience as well, so that's nice to have. Though air experience is the one that we've had the least issues with. And just to show you guys what that is. So that's these here. You might have seen them off on the side. These merged plant numbers. And so you can give these to a MIO to just get a nice bonus onto them. So either max speed, production output, soft attack. You don't have to do that one. You know, you could add that to the heavy tank designer instead. There's also ones for ships. So we looked at like the battle line ship builders. So you got some bonuses there. There's ones for the light aircraft or just for the aircraft designers. So you have to pick which ones you want to apply these to. And so that's a pretty good focus to get. It just gives you another thing to use your traits for. Probably not a priority, but definitely one that we're going to want to do. And besides the other bonuses there are really good too. But yeah, we're going to work on this branch for right now, guys. I think that's going to be necessary. And we do have some dockyards. So they've all gone into, they must have been being used for repairs. I was wondering where all the dockyards were. All right, so we have the destroyers being built in 5 and all 3 of these. Might have also built some of these dockyards. So let's put these into the submarines for right now. I suppose one thing we could do before we declare war is to try and improve these guys a bit more, because we haven't finished them yet. Still got the artillery you need to add in there. And then one more thing here, and then you got the sport companies. And so let's say you save this here, and then you can either do the anti-tank or the anti-air. So with the ATs, you're going to have higher attack. Soft attack doesn't change much, but obviously the hard attack, as you'd expect, goes up by a lot, while the anti-air gives you the air attack. Defense is the same. Breakthrough is pretty close to the same, a little bit more for anti-air. The piercing both goes up for both of these, but the anti-tank obviously is going to give you a bit more. No other real difference here besides which equipment it's taking. So I feel like anti-tanks are probably a little bit more useful. Yeah. So we'll probably do that. It'll look like this here. But we still have all these support companies we gotta add. We don't even have engineer companies in here. Damn, that's pretty bad. Alright, so let's finish these guys here like this. But yeah. We've just been so short on the experience. So now with those changes, you gotta like train up the troops more if you want them to have the 25% combat modifier. So yeah, we might have to wait just a little bit longer to go to war here. I don't want to wait too long because as you can see, the British are losing territory here, and Austria-Hungary is wide open, which we can declare war immediately. You know, we don't have to get a war goal or anything because we'll declare war through here. And I assume that then all of their allies would be pulled in since it's a defensive conflict. They should all accept it, and then we'll be at war with everybody. Poland was going to be the most difficult. They have the most troops on the front, and they have fortifications. Not high-level fortifications, it seems, but they have some. And so I think getting through Poland will be the most difficult. Here, you're going to have to come up through this way. You can't get through this area because of those high-level forts. And so you'll have to go through Latvian territory where they don't have fortifications and then come up this way to get them destroyed. Poland, we have the tanks, though. They should be able to push through this way. And then Austria-Hungary's wide open, so we might actually be able to force their capitulation. I don't know how long it'll take for them to get troops here, but with the tanks available here, I don't know. We might be able to get up there in time. We'll have to see. But yeah, I'll take a look at our front here, see if there's any changes we need to make in regards to where the troops are. I'm sure we need another army over here, but obviously don't have the divisions for that right now. Also need to take a look at the equipment situation, which probably just got a lot worse now that I just made those adjustments. Yeah, anti-tanks is now really short. So we'll take a look at that. Yeah, we're just going to be starting the war, and situation isn't optimum. But that's okay, because Central Powers aren't in an optimum situation either. They have not even defeated Britain here in France or Italy. They're at war with Italy as well. So yeah, our enemies have their own issues. So I think as soon as we're done training, we're going to go ahead and declare war. I'll move all the planes, get them set up, so we have enough planes in each region, and get the fleet set up as well. And then we'll get that war started whenever these troops are done training. So probably sometime in May, I guess. But hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one. And thanks for watching.